Hey, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and I wanted to bring you guys a special video. I have entered into the open bracket for the Token Minorities March Madness tournament, and I don't know when this video is going to be going up. I don't know if it's going to go up before pool play or after pool play. Basically, there's like a preliminary round before you get to actually get into the bracket. But in any case, the draft just completed, and I'm really excited about it. And I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys. So just to tell you a little bit about the format, basically, at least for the open bracket participants, you had 160 entrants, and they were split into 16 groups of 10 that were organized for purposes of drafting. So there were 10 other people in my drafting group, a few strangers, but also a few people that I knew, like 681 Shadow and Aki VGC. Both of whom I've played against in the past, mostly in like PMC and UPC. Yeah, so we get to pick 8 Mons each, and it's an open draft format, so there's no point restrictions or tier restrictions. It's the first time I've ever done that format, so it's pretty exciting. I was able to wind up with a pretty offensive team, pretty high tier team, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know exactly how the battles are actually going to work in terms of like who you play against. I don't know if we play against people from our pool or if we get placed into a separate bracket in order to do these sort of prelim matches, but we'll figure it out as the time goes on. But knowing that it was a open draft and that there are only 10 entrants and that there was no point limit or anything, I thought it'd be really fun to build like a setup team around Tapu Fini and Alolan Ninetales, because the Tapu Fini can set up the Misty Terrain, so it prevents Pokemon from statusing my setup sweepers. And then the Alolan Ninetales has the Aurora Veil, which can have the damage that setup sweepers are going to take. I mean, all Pokemon are going to take half damage from it, obviously, but you know, the idea is that it would benefit Pokemon that want to set up. So I really wanted to complement that core with Charizard X, but Charizard X got sniped at the beginning of the second round, so I'll talk a little bit about how I adjusted as I went along here. But let's just go ahead first and bring up Tapu Fini. So as I mentioned, Tapu Fini's main role on this team is going to be to set up Misty Surge, or set up Misty Terrain with its Misty Surge ability. Otherwise, this thing is just a nuisance for people to deal with. It's extremely bulky. It can set up with Calm Mind, and it can run some other viable sets such as Specs or Scarf or Defog and things like that. It's quite a lot of fun. If I do bring a setup set, I'm going to have to be careful about bringing Blizzard, or not Blizzard, but bringing Hail, because I don't want this thing to get chipped away by the hail damage, because I don't have any other form of recovery besides leftovers, and I can't even go for rest because my own Misty Terrain prevents that. So anyway, yeah, I really wanted to get Charizard X, but it got sniped, like I said. But I knew that I wanted this next Pokemon anyway, Excadrill Tuscan, who I've used in the past in UBC Season 2. He was on my championship squad. I wanted this to be a spinner because I could need it to support Alolan Ninetales, and then it'll allow me to draft some other Pokemon that are weak to hazards that Excadrill can support. But yeah, obviously has 2 great abilities in Mold Breaker and Sand Rush. Sand Force is also a good ability, but it's just not as common because the other 2 are so good. You know what this thing does? It spins, it goes for Earthquake, it kills things, and it outspeeds things in the sand. So it's quite nice to have Tuscan back on a squad for us. It's really going to be doing some nice work. And, it benefits as well from the Misty Terrain, because we can't get burned, and we can go for setup moves such as Sandstorm or Swords Dance. So that's quite nice. Next up, we have Blackhawk Salamence. This was our contingency plan for Charizard. It's not quite as good because Charizard's defensive typing is a little bit better than Salamence's. And then also it's a grounded Pokemon, so it benefits from Misty Terrain, whereas Salamence doesn't. But I still think that Salamence is going to be able to do good work because it obviously can run Dragon Dance sets. That's really I guess that's kind of the main thing that people think of when they think of Salamence. That's the main scary thing. But I'm also going to make Salamence my Z move Pokemon, so I can either run it with Flyinium Z, and then I can go for that combined with Fly if I want, or I can give it Draconium Z and I can either make like Outrage super powerful, or I can make Draco Meteor really powerful. You know, whatever kind of tickles my fancy. So this at least will benefit from the Aurora Veil. It'll have the damage from any ice type moves that it could take. So we'll hopefully get some opportunities to set up with Mence, because a +1 Mence just doesn't have very many counters, period. We can blow fairy types away with this fly, so that's nice. And also Salamence doubles as a nice defogger, and that's quite nice. So then we went next with Zapdos, our Mjolnir, coming back from the UBC Season 3, which I'm quite excited for. This is such a versatile Pokemon. It can be run defensively, it can run in a utility role, and it can be run offensively. I thought this was going to be my main answer to... well, no, pretend I didn't say that. This is like my main special attacker, besides maybe like a Calm Mind, Tapu Fini, and things like that. So I'll try and run some offensive sets for this. It's also really fun that it has agility plus baton pass. I'm hoping I can make that work. You know, so that way Zapdos can benefit from the Aurora Veil and things like that as well. Maybe I just invest into the natural bulk of Zapdos, and then I can baton pass into something that does benefit from Misty Terrain. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's go to the next row. I have Jadis, my Alolan Ninetales, named after the Ice Queen from Chronicles of Narnia, which is pretty cool. Alolan Ninetales, you know, obviously has the Aurora Veil that I've been hyping up this entire video, and it's, funnily enough, listed under the usually useless moves. But I recently learned in a video with my buddy Chimpact and Jar and the Confusion. I'm pretty sure that there's one other person in the video that I can't remember. It might have been Aster. I'm pretty sure it was Aster. But this thing gets Double Dance. It gets Agility, and it gets Nasty Plot. So I knew that Ninetales got Nasty Plot, but only the Alolan form gets Agility. So we can really catch some people off guard with that, I think, in this tournament. I don't think a lot of people know that this is a move that Ninetales gets. So I guess I shouldn't be announcing that before I start this tournament, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on to the next Pokemon. I was realizing that Steel types are going to be quite a problem for me because I only have Excadrill to hit them. But then, you know, that really puts me in a difficult position against Pokemon like Skarmory. And then I'm also looking kind of weak to Pokemon like Venusaur, Mega Venusaur that is. So Salazzle seemed like a good option because, one, it nukes Steel types with the poison, or the fire typing rather, and its corrosion ability will allow me to poison Pokemon like Skarmory if you know, if they're trying and be annoying to me. And then I can also use it to poison Venusaur, like I mentioned. So that's quite nice. But yeah, this is another Pokemon with some good setup options with Nasty Plot, and I don't think it gets any like speed boosting moves or anything like that. Maybe it gets Flame Charge. No, it doesn't look like it. No, it does get Flame Charge, so that's kind of cheeky. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we end up bringing that. But yeah, this just such a good wall breaker. So I thought it'd be fun to use. I was thinking about Scolipede in this spot, but one, as I mentioned, I was feeling weak to Steel types. And two, the Scolipede got sniped, so I wasn't able to bring that. Next, I went for T-Tar. Get in my belly. You guys, look at that big belly on that boy. This is obviously the Sand Center to complement the Excadrill. But this is also nice because it can trap annoying Pokemon like Latios and Latias that might wall a Sand Drill. And you know, just as a good physical wall breaker on its own. It's got a really nice 134 attack, very good defenses, and also this gets Dragon Dance. I'm hoping that I can get up a Dragon Dance with my T-Tar at some point in the tournament, because this thing in front of an Aurora Veil should be able to set up for days, especially if Misty Terrain is already up. So that's what I'm really hoping for. Does this get any like special attack boosting moves? Let's go to status. It doesn't really look like it. That would be pretty neat though. It does get T-Wave. You know, I have lots of T-Wave users on this team between Tyranitar and Celebi and Zapdos and things like that. But yeah, speaking of which, my last Pokemon is Davos Seaworth, the Celebi. This is another Pokemon that I think is going to be really fun to try and set up with because it gets both Swords Dance and Nasty Plot and Calm Mind in addition to those other two, you know, +2 stage boosting moves. it gets Baton Pass, so I can pass it into like a Scarf Drill or whatever seems appropriate at the time. And it gets other fun moves like Perish Song and whatever. I don't think we'll really use Perish Song all that much, but you can always keep it in the back potentially. But yeah, I also wanted this instead of another grass type because I guess this one gets Healing Wish. Not other than Shaman, I don't think there are many grass types that get Healing Wish. But the advantage that Celebi has over Shaman is that it gets Recover instead of Synthesis. So Recover is not inhibited by the weather, so that's quite nice. And then having this thing as a Psychic type is nifty because it gives me a better switch into things like Metacham. I don't think I had a Metacham switch in on the team otherwise. Yeah, I really don't. So I wonder if Metacham gets any bug type moves. We'll have to check that out. But in any case, yeah, that's the team. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, if there are any battles from after the tournament, I will definitely upload them to the channel. But just so you guys know, the tournament in the once it gets to the final bracket, it will be streamed on Twitch on Crobat for the Win's channel. So it's twitch.tv/CrobatFTW. So make sure you check that out. And I want to give a big thank you to the guys of the Token Minorities, Jolt, Togavor, Trev, and the whole gang over there for running this tournament, because it's a really big operation, requires a lot of man hours, requires a lot of organization, and they're doing a really great job. So thanks to them. And thank you to you guys, of course, for watching. So make sure you check back for more gaming and Pokemon content. Until the next time, I'll see you all later.